Good afternoon to all the participants. On behalf of all the participants and organizers, I Professor LSK Sharma for this seventh session for this course. He is head department of management in Mizoram University. He is going to talk on the topic academic leadership. Uh, Very brief introduction I would like to give about him. He is a professor in management department, as I told already. He is having a very rich, long experience of more than 20 years. He is having more than 70 papers published in journals, different journals. He has presented more than 50 papers in national and international seminars. He has chaired many sessions in many uh, seminars and conferences, many invited talks he has presented, which is more than 120 I could see in his CV uh, for different research refresher course or orientation course or different kind of other invited talks. He has guided more than a dozen PhD scholars, and about seven are ongoing at present. He has guided successfully three postdoc scholars also. He has organized around 10 different seminars or conferences, and he has completed two research projects. So, with this small introduction, I would like to invite Professor Sharma to take over from here, and he's going to talk on academic leadership. So, sir, time is yours. You can start your deliberation.
Thank
And
you.
participants, please keep on giving your questions.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sir.
Comments or any questions or comments or anything? Sir, I would like to share my screen.
Okay.
Entire screen.
Full screen. Yes, fine, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let me start then. So, thank you very much, sir, for giving a very nice introduction. Uh, Although whatever is being said is it's actually nothing that I have not. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, what I've done is very very less compared to others, and just a small contribution that I'm making. Uh, Today's topic that uh, we have taken up is this is something more related with the faculties who are especially coming into this career and dealing with in terms of uh, the other related activities in the realm of academics and and in fact one of the question which generally most of the younger faculties are asking is that should I be focused on research or should I be focused on teaching only, teaching and research, or teaching and research only, or should I uh, give some of my hand in the work of administration as well as taking up other roles also. So, so there is also a dilemma about whether how to balance all these things also. So, by looking into the lacuna of all these things, I have thought that this topic might be more suitable for uh, most of the uh, most of the participants. So, so what I want to go on into this presentation is that there are certain questions that I want to answer in this. Okay. So let some of the questions that we will be looking into this is one is are leaders born or made? In fact, looking into the term of leadership, I mean, are the leaders actually made, or I mean, are born as leaders, or are leaders coming out as the primary function because of the kind of roles and responsibility that is being given due to one's position? So we'll try to answer this question also. Then, in terms of looking uh, within ourselves, how do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself to be a leader? Okay. Then, on the basis of this, we will try to look into what does leadership mean and what the leaders do. Okay. Then we will also try to explore into uh, who to whom are these leaders accountable for. I mean, as an academic leader, to whom we are accountable. Okay. Then we also will look into in the form of academic advising, as can it uh, represent as a form of a leadership. Then if you are doing such kind of activities, then what kind of model, leadership model, is more suitable for this? And uh, and in order to be a successful leader, what are the skills that are required? So these are some of the things that we will try to assess, or we'll try to uh, cover in. Okay, so let us go into this one by one. So the first one is the general question which has been debating from several years, that is, leaders are born, not made. Okay, so the first question that I was talking about: are leaders born, or are they being made? Okay, so so this is a debate that has been ongoing, and there is no resolution till now. Okay, but few years back there has been certain research and which has shown that when being asked around, leaders, where they say that two by third of the respondents say that leaders are being made, means leaders comes out from a skill that is being uh, acquired over a period of time, and which are being practiced every now and then, and finally made into a perfection. And the remaining one third says that leaders comes out from environment uh, where which is more viable. Okay, I mean that those who are born with certain conditions, with certain prerequisite characters, they are called as the leaders which are being born. Okay, so so there is still a debate. In fact, when we look into some of the data about uh, those army personnel who are being uh, groomed from right from the lower level rungs to the higher level rungs, over a period of time, they are made into smaller skills time to time, and made to practice on those skills, given certain work to do, and over the period of time they perfected this and becomes great leaders. So the argument that leaders are being made may also come out to be true. Okay, so and in fact that is what we call as coming out from the uh, where the function which says that leader is a primary function of one's position or organization role. Okay, there has been occasions that I have known that there are several vice chancellors in certain universities who have been an anonymity before becoming a vice chancellor, who has not taken any kind of uh, responsible position or role of the organization, but when given the certain situation, has functioned and taken up the qualities of leadership and led the organization in a certain position. So these two statements, uh, in a way, there has been a lot of agreements and disagreements. Of course, there are also individuals, despite giving one's position or giving the particular organizational role, has not able to take up the tone of leadership. They are not able to perform or take the organization to that position, um, which the organization had intended to be. So there is still a lot of argument on this. So on the basis of this, by looking into this, how can we define leadership as this? George Terry, you might have heard this name, especially those who are in commerce and management, uh, writes about management principles, says that leadership is the activity of influencing people to strive willingly for group objectives. Let me take this into small bits. So leadership is nothing but that activity. What kind of activity? Those activities who are trying to influence, who are trying to deter, or who are trying to change the way how the people are making a decision. What kind of decision? Decision where you are trying to achieve a certain objective or a certain goal. So that group objective where you're trying to achieve through is being made by influencing on the decisions that is to be taken. So leadership is those activities where you're trying to influence the decision making process. Okay, but here is one aspect is not given in this definition, and that definition is being brought about in the next one by Coons and O'Donnell. In the first definition, it does not talk about one of the important component where that is what you call the the influence may be in the form of what we call as a direct one or in the form of an indirect one. Okay, so Coons and O'Donnell talk about leadership where some of the components of the definitions are more or less similar. That is where it is trying to influence people to follow where you are supposed to achieve a common goal. But here, the exertion of this influence may be in the form of a direct process or an indirect process. But here, the main important component is also given through the communication process in order to achieve this goal. So, Coons and O'Donnell focuses more on the communication process. There is also another leadership, another definition which is given by Roach and Bailing, which says that, uh, as I said about this direct and indirect process, the indirect and indirect communication, where you have the followers. The followers could be in the form of individual, in the form of groups, or organize, or the overall organization where you are trying to achieve a certain set goals. So all these three definitions, when we looking into together, it has some of the important components. One of the important component that can be brought out from this is that there is one of the process of uh, influencing. So there is a process of influencing where the decision making takes place. Okay, so there is a shared social influencing process. So in in the leadership process, the leader is communicating to the individual or the followers or the groups. Okay. And in that, it's trying to make a certain kind of influence. Okay. And of course, the second important aspect is that whatever that decision is being made, there is a purpose behind it. Okay, and that purpose is to achieve a certain goal, and that could be in the form of what we call as the mission vision. Okay, and mission and vision has certain purpose out there. So, in order to achieve this mission and vision, some kind of goal, objective, all those are there, and the decision making has certain purpose towards that. Uh, by looking into this definition of leadership again, we may also consider that it is not related about one person. It's not restricted to only one person in particular. Okay, so the decision making process could be more about a group, more about a team, more about what the organization wants to achieve, more about what one of the functions wants to achieve. Okay, so it's not restricted to only one person. And of course, one of the significant aspect is that a leader cannot function on its own. One of the important component is the followers. If the followers are not there, then there could be no leadership. Okay, so the followers are the main important part of this leadership process. So without this, there will be no leadership. And of course, when we talk about the communication process, I've told you that maybe it could be in the form of what we say as a direct or an indirect process. Okay. The direct could be like, say, for example, the company is very much, if I take the example of a company, it could be in the form of that we want to achieve uh, the increased market share by 25% this year. So it's a direct one. Maybe in the indirect process, it may be saying that we want to make our presence being felt in the market, where the actual purpose is not being shown directly, it's hidden. So the communication process could be in the form of a direct or indirect. So by looking into this aspect, the shared influential purpose, the in order to achieve a goal, not being restricted to one person, the presence of followers being required, and the communication being required out there in the form of direct or indirect. So, in the light, by looking into these definitions, if we look into the topic, the academic leadership, can we consider ourselves to be a leader in the form of the activities that we are doing? That is, maybe in your own personal life, also, maybe in your own professional life. Okay.